Hello and namaste. Good afternoon, all the Toastmasters, guests from different clubs, areas, district, and our regular guest. Welcome to our 34th meeting of Leadbox Toastmaster Club. And I would like to apologize for our conducting the meeting a bit late than as our actual time. Learning is a process, is a never-ending process. From the birth of child, you start learning and learning till your death. Until you die, your learning process never ends. You always move ahead with the learning process. So basically, Toastmaster is a platform where you make a mistakes and move ahead with some correction in your mistake by learning. The vision of the Toastmaster International is to be a better communicator and to be the best leader in the community. Now, we are moving ahead with our regular Toastmaster meeting with the same motive, vision. Now, without a day, since we have spent our lot more time in this due to technical glitches, now I would like to welcome our presiding officer, Toastmaster Sushil Budathoki. Toastmaster Sushil Budathoki is the charter president of Leadbox Toastmaster Club. He is a dreamer and achiever. Currently, he is a vice principal of Himalayan White House International College. He is also a founder and CEO of Nepal STEAM Alliance. So, dear Toastmaster and guests, let's welcome with a huge round of applause, virtual applause, to our today's presiding officer, Toastmaster Sushil Budathoki. Toastmaster Sushil Budathoki, the virtual platform is yours. Over to you.
Thank you. Sergeant at Arms, Toastmaster Krista. So it is again an immense pleasure for all of us to be the participant of the 34th meeting. It seems like we started yesterday and it's 34th meeting and we are already in the renewal process of the third semi-annual cycle. So amazing journey. It's a long journey for us because we just started a year ago. And it seems like we have covered, when we see back and the dots behind every steps we have taken to reach here, very fruitful journey. Rather than talking about the length, the experience and the realization and the real changes we have in our attitude, our skills, in our networks, in our positioning, we got to learn so many things from Toastmasters community. So Leadbox Toastmasters Club is basically a club at Himalayan White House International College. So it's a community-based club because we have members out from the college also. The major motive behind it was to provide to all the aspirant young mind who dream to lead the corporates, who think they can, but they don't have platform, who believe they can, but they don't have the environment. So this is the platform where we practice leadership, we practice communication skills, not only by listening others, but also by being the doers. So that's the beauty of the Toastmasters community, the Toastmaster platform. And we are proud of that. And this journey of learning and being better will continue, I believe, throughout every one of us here in our life. So that I'd like to say, tough time never ends and tough people do. with the emergence of COVID-19, the one and only active group I have seen from the very beginning, the one and only active community I have seen from the very beginning is the Toastmasters Club. May we have lost our job, may we have lost our business, but not hope, because we are in an association of active people. We are in an association of people who believe they will survive. And I strongly believe that this too will pass. And with this virtual adoption, we again prove that if willpower does not stop, nobody can stop your movement. With that, and a beautiful theme today, I'd like to hand over this virtual platform to the wonderful Toastmaster of the evening, Toastmaster Rolex Tangol, who is an MBA student at Himalayan White House International College, and he is a proud member of Leadbox Toastmaster Club. He is one of the founder members of our club. He was born and raised in Newar Influence Society of Kathmandu. Currently, he owns his fitness center, a very experienced, very dynamic person with a learning attitude. So let's welcome with a big round of applause, Toastmaster of the day, Rolex Dungol. The floor is all yours, Rolex.
Thank you. Thank you, Presiding Officer. And thank you for introducing me in a wonderful way. So now I'd like to begin. Presiding Officer, my fellow Toastmasters, and dear guests, a very good afternoon. I am Rolex Dungol, your Toastmasters of the day. As a Toastmaster of the day, I will be conducting our today's session. So without doing any further delay, I would like to introduce our today's theme, and that is a bucket list. So it is said that it is never too early to begin a bucket list. Don't wait for that someday, which might never come, which is said by the old ones. And the life is uncertain. 20 years from now, we will be thinking about what are the things that we didn't do rather than the things that we did. So it would be better for us to pull the anchor and sail away from the safe harbor. So there are certain things that we want to do, see, achieve in our lifetime, which values us the most. So therefore, I have some certain kind of bucket list that I would definitely want to achieve before I turn into ashes. And so some of my bucket lists are, and I love traveling. So I'm a traveler. So I would love to travel all districts of Nepal. So when I used to work as being a sales agent, I used to travel a lot. So during this phase, I have traveled more than 30 districts. And during this phase, I came to learn, understand people of different areas as well as places, so which fascinated me a lot. Therefore, I would definitely want to visit all the districts of Nepal. And my next bucket list is skydiving. Ah, I want to feel rising above the air, up above 10,000 feet high, and diving from there at the speed of 125 miles per hour. So it would feel like I'm a superhero flying at the sky, ready to kick the butt of a supervillain. So I have so many other bucket lists like be a friend with a stranger and having a cool tattoo on the chest. Also collecting rare indoor varieties of plants. Uh, so these are my bucket lists. So now I would like to move on to us introducing our role takers. So we have Toastmaster Mirjul Basnit as our general evaluator. And in the same way as we have Toastmaster Manoj Subedi as our table topic master and Toastmaster Pozar Joshi as our timer. He said he would be a timer, but he couldn't make that. So we have made our ballot counter a timer, who is Mr. Vikas Kewali. He is taking two roles today. And lastly, we have Pravesh Karmacharya as a counter. And last but not the least, we have Nirajan Shrestha as a tech master. So now I would like to request our general evaluator, Toastmaster Mirdul Basnit, to highlight his role for the day.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Rolex, for that introduction. Hello, everyone. I'm Toastmaster Mridul from Kathmandu Toastmasters Club, and that means I will be your general evaluator for today's meeting. As the general evaluator, I'll be leading the general evaluation session, which is the last part of today's meeting. So that means you'll be seeing me again in the end of the meeting. Thank you so much. Do I need to introduce the indirect role players as well? Because there were some changes. I think the Toastmaster of the evening can do that. Thank you so much for that introduction. I'll see you again in the general evaluation session.
Thank you so much, General Evaluator Mr. Toastmaster Mirdul Basnit. So we have a certain change in a role. So we have a new role taker, who is Mr. Wasim Ansari, as a ballot counter. So now I would like to call Mr. Pravesh Karmacharya as a counter to highlight your role for the day.
Well, thank you very much, Toastmaster Rolex. So good evening, fellow Toastmaster. I'll be the counter for today's session. As an counter, my role is to note down the filler sounds like ums, and I'll also be noting down the repetition and short pauses. Well, that's my job for today. Over to you, Toastmaster Rolex.
Thank you, Toastmaster Pravesh Karmacharya. Now I would like to call our grammarian Toastmaster Sunil Acharya to highlight the word of the day.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the evening. As a grammarian, my role would be to review the use of English language and grammar by all the speakers during this meeting. And when called upon by the general evaluator at the end of the meeting, I'll be presenting my grammarian report to all of you. And also as a grammarian, my role is to introduce word of the day for this meeting. And the word of the day for this meeting is matriculate. It is spelled as matriculate, matriculate. It's a verb, and the meaning of this word is to enroll as a member or a body, and especially of a college or university. An example of it, the words used is, we need to matriculate 8 new members in our club by the end of this meeting, by the end of this month, sorry. And I would encourage all the speakers to use this word of the day. I would be announcing the name, would use word of the day during the speeches. Over to you, Toastmaster of the evening.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sunil Acharya. And now I would like to call our timer, Mr. Toastmaster Vikas Kewali, to highlight his role for the day.
Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters and distinguished guests. It's me, Toastmaster Vikas Kewali. Today I'll be your timer. As a timer, my job is to track all the time record of all the speakers, as well as table topic speakers, as well as the direct as well as indirect evaluators who have taken their time, and I will be presenting my report at the end of the meeting. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
And thank you, Toastmaster Vikas. And now lastly, I would like to call Toastmaster Wasim Ansari to highlight his role for the day.
Fellow Toastmasters and guests, welcome to Leadbox Toastmasters Club once again. I'm going to be a ballot counter for this meeting today. As a ballot counter, I will collect and count the ballot when the audience vote for better speaker, better table topic speaker, better evaluator, and even better role taker. At the end of the meeting, I'll announce and award the certificates to the winner of the votes. That's my role for today. Over to you, Toastmasters of the evening.
And thank you, Toastmaster Wasim. So before calling out our featured speaker, I would like to give a brief information on how our meeting is conducted, so to help our guests to follow through. Our entire meeting is divided into 3 phases. First phase is our featured speech session, where members from club prepare and deliver speech according to the manuals of Toastmasters International. And our second session is table topic session, It is important session where our table topic master will shooting different topics, and anyone from the audience can raise their hand and speak on a given topic for about a minute. And our third and final session is evaluation session, where our direct and indirect evaluators will provide their evaluation, and entire meeting will be evaluated by our general evaluator. So now, without doing any further delay, I would like to move on towards our feature speaker session. So for this session, I would like to call Toastmaster Srishti Vaidya. Toastmaster Srishti is also she is also called as a Jessica, and she is the finance director of Vaidya Group since October 2017. She did most of her schooling in India and US and returned into Nepal 3 years ago. She is also a founder of the Kathmandu Book Club as well as a member of Global Shapers Kathmandu Hub and Kathmandu Toastmaster Club. Please let me help welcoming Toastmaster Srishti Vaidya with huge round of virtual applause. Over to you, Toastmaster Srishti Vaidya. Floor is yours.
Right. Toastmaster Mridul, could you present the screen? All right, thank you. I would like to ask all of you to take a look at this image right here. This is an image of the atomic bomb explosion of Hiroshima, Japan, World War II. Take a second to imagine the amount of energy, the amount of heat and destruction caused by this bomb. Okay? Now take this energy and multiply it by 500,000 times. According to James Hansen, former director of NASA, this is the amount of energy that our Earth's atmosphere is trapping every single day in terms of man-made global warming pollution, every single day of the year. Can you imagine the amount of destruction we're causing our planet right now? Good evening, presiding officer, fellow Toastmasters, and guests. Today I'm going to be talking about a topic that is very, very crucial and very important, but it also happens to be a topic that no one really likes to talk about. I'm talking about the global climate crisis, also known as global warming. Now, before I start talking about facts and numbers, I want to share a personal story with you. My school did an amazing job with all of our education. This included learning about climate change. So I learned about climate change, gave it in my exam, got my marks, and then promptly stopped caring about it. It never occurred to me that climate change could actually be something so important to me for my actual everyday real life. That is, until I watched An Inconvenient Truth. For those of you who don't know, An Inconvenient Truth is an award-winning documentary series featuring former Vice President of the United States of America, Al Gore. This was the first time that I saw the climate crisis outside of the textbook context, and this made me realize that climate change is something that we, as in all human beings, need to start worrying about immediately. Now, being aware about climate change is one thing, and acting on it is another. After watching the movie, yes, I was aware about the climate crisis, but I didn't really do anything about it. This feeling of being wrongly inactive, of being inert, was a gradual process. I felt it when I saw the dying Great Barrier Reefs, when I saw Greta Thunberg's powerful speech in the UN Climate Summit. I felt it when I saw the starving and emaciated polar bear in the 10-year photograph challenge. I felt it when I saw the Amazon fires, when I saw the Australian fires, when I am seeing the California fires happening right now to the point that I can't be inactive anymore. Now, the first thing that people argue about climate change is, hey, the temperature goes up and down. It's not a big deal, right? Last week was so cold, it rained all week. Wrong. Climate and weather are two very different things. And I will be demonstrating this to you by the following graphs. These are graphs developed by Columbia University. So we're taking the year 1951 as our baseline year, and here you can see the average and deviations in the temperature over the year 1951. Now, if we go over to the next decade, you will see that the average is moving to the right. And then we go to the next decade and it moves further to the right. And now to the last decade, we reach a point where the extreme temperature events that we have is going from only 0.1% all the way up to 22.1%. What are the consequences? There are so many, but I just don't have the time to cover them all. Therefore, I'm only talking about one topic today, and this one topic is so important for all of us Nepalis. This is the melting glaciers. According to Al Gore, around 1/3 to 2/3 of all the glaciers in the Himalayas will melt by the end of the century. Not if, not when, but definitely will. And why is this important? Because these glaciers provide fresh drinking water to 25% of the world's population. Now, according to the UN Convention to Combat Desertification's 2017 Global Land Outlook Report, there are already 17 countries, including 25% of the world's population today, that are already experiencing high water stress levels. And by the year 2040, which is only 20 years down the line, 600 million children, or 1 in 4 children in the world, will live in areas of extremely high water stress. Now I want you to take a look at this following image. This image also comes from NASA, research done by former director Hansen. Imagine, for example, you have a child in 5 years down the line. By the time this child grows up and she is around 45, 50 years old, she might actually have to permanently leave Nepal just because it's just not habitable anymore. There won't be water, there won't be food, there won't be resources. This isn't a distance occurrence anymore, people. This is your children. These are your grandchildren who are going to have to deal with these consequences due to our selfish actions. No matter what, climate change is happening. I want me and my loved ones to live on an earth that is beautiful and safe like it was 100 years ago, not just as cockroaches struggling despite an ever-escalating climate crisis. And I truly believe that anyone who understands this fundamentally would feel the same way. Now, I could conclude with a positive note about all the things people are doing all around the world to combat this climate crisis. But I won't. I won't because I want you to be scared. I want you to panic. Only then will you take action. I don't want you to be like me when I watched An Inconvenient Truth, where I knew about the climate crisis, but I didn't do anything for years and years and years. I want you to take action, and I want you to save our planet for the future generations. All these solutions are only in your hands. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Srishti. And now moving towards our second speaker, we have Toastmaster Binay Dongle. Excuse me. Hello, am I audible?
Yes, Toastmaster Rolex, you are audible.
Now we are going towards our second speaker. We have Toastmaster Binay Dongle, and he is on a project of leadership. And his topic for today is communication with, and he is at the pathways of level 2, project 1. And Toastmaster Binay Dongle is a proud and a passionate member of Himalayan Toastmaster Club, and he is currently serving as a sales head at Nansel, and he believes good listener is always a good speaker. So please help me welcoming Binay Dongle with a huge round of virtual applause.
Communication is one of the basic things we learn as a child, but it becomes one of the hardest things we do as we grow up. Do you all know your communication style? Please write yes or no in our chat box. If you know your communication style, you can write it yes, and if you don't know, you can write it no. Thank you. We have few of the inputs from our members. So let me continue. Today, we are going to learn and share about the communication style that we practice. And along with that, I would also like to share the one communication pattern that I love the most and I want to practice myself. Consequently, the abbreviation I have used, SAID, stands for supportive, analytical, initiating, and direct. These are the 4 communication styles. Each of the communication style has their own advantages and disadvantages, or pros and cons. Talking about the supportive communication, it is more of the openness, it is more of the subtle, gentle part, but it somehow lacks persuasion. The next communication style is analytical. It is more systematic, but it lacks the part of the analytical analogies. The third one is initiating, and it is more open and enthusiastic type. But due to its gregarious nature, sometimes the people perceive it more as a self-assured type. Finally, the direct communication is direct one. The problem we have with the direct communication is it seems that it is more of the self-absorbing type and it lacks empathy. So these are the 4 communication types. Before I took my pathways quiz regarding the communication, I was thinking and of more of the impression that I had, either the analytical communication style or supportive communication style. But to my surprise, when the result came out, it says that I had more of a direct communication style. And now I recall that maybe few of the times I had supportive communication, but most of the times I was into the direct communication. It may have been influenced by some of my childhood memories. When I was in grade 8, my maths teacher was very strict. One day, he was teaching us geometry, and the class was doing the construction. So he was going all in the blackboard, making the perpendicular, obtuse angle, right angle here and there. There was some kind of construction part going on. And for me, I was lost. I feel like there were more than 10,000 instructions going over, and it all went over my head. I lost interest. My construction drawing somewhere looks between that of the pyramids and camels of the Egypt put together. Then the teacher suddenly came checking each and every copies of what we had drawn. When he looked into my copy, then he screamed, "Is this what I have taught you? Is this what is drawn over the blackboard? You should pay more attention. And the next time, if you are going to draw like this, I'm going to put this compass into your stomach and pull out your kidney." Then I could not concentrate anymore to the geometric construction that was going on. I was just thinking over my head, the compass holding my kidney. That is what the direct communication is capable of. It is what it can have the effects. Somehow, the geometry has that kind of influence into my communication style to this date. I remember all my problems, all the problems, small or major, came because of this direct communication style I had practiced. I remember one event. My neighbor had built a boundary wall covering some part of the public road. I was angry, I was furious. I went to him. "Hey, you have made your boundary wall covering some part of the road. Your wall should come down." He was now more angry and maybe more desperate. And he replied, "What have I done wrong? I'm not building a wall in your boundary wall. So don't teach me and let me do my thing. Keep away from my business." Now there was a kind of fist fight and few of the sayings over us. Then I grabbed the shovel and break his wall. The wall came down. It was then followed by few of the police complaints. Then it was registered in a court and the lawyer issues. To this date, the issue is still ongoing in a court. Now it has already been 5 years, but every month we both meet each other in a courtroom. So this is one of the direct communication I had witnessed. Now I remember maybe the situation could have been different if I had practiced it differently. Instead of saying and going to him that your wall should come down, I could have go to him and approach more systematically. Maybe, sir, you have put your wall in a wrong side. Can you please check it and reconstruct the wall? This could have bring an issue that differently. Learning from all these fiascos, now I am learning a more supportive style communication. Although our brain is programmed in the unconscious mind, we have this in a back of our head, all the communication style, but still we can practice the new communication patterns. For the supportive communication, we need to practice intent and active listening. We can take pauses in between. We can talk less and listen as much as possible. Let's hear the other point, and then slowly we can build a supportive communication style. Finally, as it is said that 10% of the conflict is only because of the difference of opinion. Remaining 90% is actually because of the tone of your voice. Always remember the old age saying, you can catch more flies with vinegar, with the honey than with the vinegar. Thank you. Over to you, Toastmaster of the evening.
Thank you, Toastmaster. Thank you, Toastmaster Binay. So now I would like to request you all, including guests, except speakers, to cast your vote for your favorite featured speaker. I would like to request ballot counter to start the poll. The poll will be appearing on the screen in a few minutes.
So at the same time, shall I create the breakout room for our general evaluator, and for grammarian?
Oh, that would be
Sure.
great.
Do that.
Okay.
So I think almost all of us have cast a vote. So shall we begin towards next session?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, okay. So now let's move on towards our second session, which is table topic session. For that table topic session, I would like to call out Toastmaster Manoj Subedi. Manoj Subedi. Toastmaster Manoj Subedi.
I'm here.
Okay. The floor is all yours. You may go.
Okay, thank you. Welcome everyone to this impromptu session of Toastmaster. In this session, Toastmasters, non-role takers Toastmaster and guests can engage and speak for almost 3 minutes. That is, I will be showing I'll be giving topics and you have to speak for 2 and more minutes. We will be showing green flag in 1 minute, yellow flag in 1 and 30 seconds, and red flag in 2 minutes. And you have to finish your speech by 2 minutes 30 seconds. We had our topic, our theme was a bucket list. I think we Nepalese people are so chill, freak and fun-loving people. We don't need a bucket list, and many of us have no bucket list. But with the career and responsibility coming up and moving towards the capitalism, we are now have very less time for ourselves. The bucket list is very much practiced in Western culture, but we have very less in our culture. But with the globalization, now we have shifted, and now we have some bucket list. My grandfather, who is 85 years old, is a frequent traveler of Hariwon and Nepal. And I remember the first time when he came back to Nepal from Hariwon, he said, Nati, you know what? You have to travel. You need to know the place. You have to go to the different place, know the culture, know the system. So I have my own bucket list as well. But first, I will listen to yours. And I have selected some topics which I'll be presenting here today. For my first list, first topic, as you can see in the picture, what you can see is a virus, coronavirus, a cruise and all. According to the survey, the cruise booking for 2021 is almost full. That means people are booking for 2021. They are so optimistic that 2021 will be a good year for them. So they have booked a cruise ship which is almost full. So I want to know the things you want to do after the post-COVID. Things you want to do after post-COVID. Anyone? Okay, I have no choice then to call out. Okay, guest, Manuswi Dungana, right? Did I pronounce right? The floor
Yes,
is
but
yours.
my name is Manaswi, not Manaswi.
Manaswi.
No, it's Manaswi, not Manaswi.
Okay, okay. The floor is yours.
Yeah, so we all want this COVID-19 to go as soon as possible. And if COVID-19 goes, the first thing I would do is visit my school, because I'm really missing the physical classes, because we used to do a lot of activities with the teachers, and now in this online we just can play in quizzes, Nearpod, Kahoot, and many other apps. But it's slightly fun in online classes. And the second thing I would do is I would visit the zoo, because I love visiting the zoo. Then third thing I would do would be, I would visit fun park and go to many places. And especially I'll visit the out of Kathmandu Valley.
Okay, I think.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, thank you. Okay, no problem. Thank you, Manaswi. I think I pronounced that right now, right?
No, it's still Manaswi.
Okay, let's try it once again. Manasui. Mansui.
It's Manaswi.
Manasui. Okay, Manasui. All right. That might one boring factor, one sad factor is for you. The zoo of Nepal is having some crisis on this COVID. The animals are bored of not seeing the human face. There was a news that animals are feeling bored in zoo because they are not seeing people, crowd. That is one news for you. So hope the zoo will be open soon. Now for my second topic, stop dreaming about your bucket list and start living it. We have a bucket list, but we never do that. I have my bucket list that I want to go to the Tilicho Lake, and that has been almost 5 years, but I hadn't got the chance to be there. Some career problems, job switch and all. So when I see these quotes and all, I want to go right away. But I have some factors that are stopping me. So I want to know your bucket list, your one bucket list which is on hold from years. I want to know years. So who is up for this? Okay, no raise hand. Okay, I will go with, I'm using my veto power here. So I'm going with Toastmaster Pooja Bhatt. Are you there, Toastmaster Pooja?
Did you call me Toastmaster Manoj?
Yes, yes, yes.
Can you repeat the question because I didn't hear it?
Many people dream about list, make the list, bucket list, but they don't go for it. What is your one bucket list which is on hold from years?
It's not about the bucket list, but yeah, I had a dream to go to United States to do my MBA program, and for that I was preparing GMAT, IELTS, and I was doing all that things, and that was one of my biggest dream that I want to achieve, but because of some reason I couldn't go, and I just had to join here MBA, and I think this triggers me a lot, and I think one day after doing MBA in Nepal, I can just go further USA because that is something I have always dreamed of. I think that is my 6 years dream, and I'm still thinking about it, and that is something I found my bucket list. Otherwise, I don't think there is some other bucket list I have. Besides that, I think after COVID-19, I would definitely go to Tilicha, as you said, because that is also one of my dream that I want to visit the place in Nepal. And that's all from my side. Over to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you, Toastmaster Pooja. Now we all have this planned list, but the plan never goes, right? You have a plan, but the plan never goes. The planned list never works. The best trip is an unplanned trip. I have the same experience of one when I was in a undergraduate level. We of our 8 group friends went to a bike trip, 4 bike, and our destination was Ghandruk. That time Ghandruk was a fresh location. So we had this moment. So we went for Ghandruk, and upon returning, we planned that let's go for Ghalegaon also. Let's go there as well. That was completely unplanned, certainly made out of nowhere. And then we went to Ghalegaon, and it was raining, and the road was very dirt, and it took us almost 7 hours to reach there from the main Prithvi highway. We were there at around 11 p.m. Everything was closed. No one was opening, but the best part of Ghalegaon was they welcome the guest very much, very warm welcome. We went there at 11 p.m. Then the owner, or the guest house owner, she waked up till 2 p.m. and served us food and all. And in the morning, at around 6 p.m., she was there with the breakfast. So that was the very best moment, and that was very completely unplanned. So I want to know, did you had any such unplanned trip? Tell the best moment of your that unplanned trip.
Toastmasters Manoj, can I speak on this?
Sure, sure.
I've had a lot of unplanned trips, but right now I recall last year's. Presiding officer, Toastmasters Susil Budathuk, he always wanted us to go somewhere. I should grab my guitar and we'll spend some time, but it never happened. One day, out of nowhere, it was in the middle of the day, 12:01, he called me and said, "Hey, grab your guitar, I'm coming downstairs." He picked me up from my room and we went. It was Pilot Baba. What an amazing place that was. It was windy, it was about to rain, and I grabbed my guitar. We went there, we sat there, we drank soft drinks, and we talked. But the sceneries, the climate, the weather, everything was so special. We sort of blended with that weather. We started to talk about our dreams, our aspiration. I still remember how he inspired me and he said that, "Wasim, you are going to go a long way. Just keep believing in yourself." And that day I felt that I was special. The best part about that trip was the way how he made me feel special, the way how he made me feel that I can achieve anything if I work hard with perseverance. I should say that trip was a pivotal moment in my life. I never thought unplanned moments, unplanned trip could turn out to be such life-changing experience. We returned, and at night, I started to comprehend what I learned today. I didn't learn anything, but one thing I learned was if I keep going, if I keep doing what I'm doing, I have a long way to go. Thank you so much, Presiding Officer, for that day. I still love you for that. Over to you, Toastmasters of the evening. Sorry, Table Topic Master.
Thank you, Toastmaster Wasim. That was a lovely experience to share. Now for the last topic of today, I want to be a bit out of track. This is a recent happening that this is the table topics I have already picked once, but I want to engage again, as government has just initiated that 2 days holiday in a week, and the purpose was to expand the internal tourism in Nepal. So I think why I added this in this session is, in this theme, was I think the bucket list and the holiday goes along. So how do you think about the 2 days holiday, the 2 red in the calendar, and effect in your bucket list? Or you can just say your take on 2-day holiday in a week. Will that impact your bucket list? Or you can say, you can talk on anything about this 2-day holiday. Okay, me, Samir Dungana. You can go ahead. The floor is yours, Samir. Toastmaster Samir.
Thank you, Toastmaster, Table Topic Master Manoj. This 2 days of holiday, it's like you can fulfill your bucket list. If you get a 2 days holiday, you can travel to your dream destination through the promoting it Nepali tourism, domestic tourism. You can go, you can visit various places in Nepal. You can come back. You can fulfill your bucket list each and every week. If you have got money in your pocket, you can fulfill your bucket list as much as you can. You can visit various nice, beautiful place of Nepal. You can post it on social media. You can encourage your friends living abroad to come to Nepal to promote tourism so that the revenue, the income of the locality, the people living there, they get more, they get income. So whatever, like we are facing the pandemic situation, that gets over and the people will be back to normal. So I think that the government trying to give 2 days of holiday, the national holiday, that is more impact, not only on the government sector, it should be implicated to everyone, even the private organization should implement this so that we can have a nice time with our family members, with our friends, colleagues, anywhere, anything. You can just enjoy your life like the people in the Europe or US are enjoying. Over to you, table topic master.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sam. That was a lovely. That's all for me today. But at the end, I would like to share my bucket list. My bucket list is to travel around the Europe without a single visa. This is my bucket list, and this is for me today. Over to you, Toastmaster. Before that, I would like to welcome our ballot counter who has already loaded the polls. I'd like to give your vote for your best table topic speaker. Thank you. Now I'd like to hand over it to the table Toastmaster of the evening, Toastmaster Rolex. Thank you.
Wow. Wow. So it was a wonderful to hear about the bucket list regarding each and everything. The whole fascinating topic was the last topic. So it was nice table topic session. So now I would like to jump forward towards our final session. For that, I would like to call out our general evaluator, Toastmaster Mirdul Basnet, with a huge round of virtual applause.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the evening. Hello, everyone. I'm Toastmaster Mridul, and I will be your evaluator for today's evening. That means I'll be leading this session. So what is general evaluation, right? General evaluation is the session. It's the most important part of a Toastmasters meeting. It's where we get fresh feedback on what are the things that we did better and what are the areas of enhancement that we should implement on our speeches or on our roles. So first, the general evaluation session is divided into three parts. It's first up, it's the direct evaluation. Second, it's the indirect evaluation, where my team of indirect evaluators will give their report. Third is my overall general evaluation of the meeting. So without further delay, let's get into the first session, that is the direct evaluation session. So to evaluating Toastmaster Srishti was from Kathmandu Toastmasters is Toastmaster Riti, the president of KCM Toastmasters. She is a third-year finance and banking student serving as the president of KCM. She won many things on a bucket list would be to go for solo travel, meet new people across the globe, and make new friends. Toastmaster Riti, you have 2 to 3 minutes to give your evaluation. And the floor is all yours, Toastmaster Riti.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Mridul. So how many of us here have actually thought about this whole situation of global warming and climate change? If not, most of you have, if not all, then I bet after hearing the speech of Toastmaster Srishti, most of us or all of us thought about it. So me being a realist and an overthinker, I could actually relate to the speech of Toastmaster Srishti. I too have thought a lot about this whole situation and what is next for us youths after like 10 or 20 years. So what I really loved about Toastmaster Srishti's speech is first the content of her speech, global warming and climate change. We all could relate to it. We all being the youths of this time, we all it is some concern for all of us. So really good selection of the content, and I really loved how you added a personal story to your speech as well. Now it was a research based speech, but then you added your personal story and also give us a little hint on your inspiration behind this selection of this topic and this speech. So really good on that. And the second thing is a really well researched speech. You had a lot of facts, a lot of numbers, and all of it were sourced, and it had legit sources. You even had many graphs, diagrams, and good usage of and good selection of the pictures, I must say. The pictures that showed the 10 years challenge of the polar bears and the before and after pictures of the oceans, it was actually really intriguing, and it actually made us, the audience, think about it and ponder on it. Not only that, you even had started your speech with the picture of Hiroshima bombing and with the fact on the amount of man-made pollution that is caused every year by us humans. So that was really intriguing, and it really made us audience wonder about it. But as I was listening to your speech, I felt like something was missing, and that something was vocal variety. So if I had been in your place, I would have played a little with my voice tone, my voice modulation. So I remember you had this point where you asked in the beginning of the speech where you had asked, can you imagine the damage we are causing? So instead of simply stating out, I would have stressed it a little and made it more powerful. Like, can you imagine the damage we are causing to this planet Earth? So you see the difference that the beginning of the speech is always important, and it actually helps to make an impact on the audience. So with that, it would have been even better. And the second is, I felt like you were kind of rushing. Since it is a research-based speech, you had a lot of facts and figures going on. But when we were processing the one fact, the other fact was already being added. So there was kind of imbalance in that. And the third thing I felt was, now you had a good content and a really good opening, but then the conclusion was kind of abrupt. So maybe if there had been a really impactful call for action or a proper solution to what is to be done, then that would have made your speech perfect. So overall, you already are an amazing speaker. So a little work on the vocal variety and calming and slowing down of your pace, it would have been an even impactful speech. So with that being said, I conclude my evaluation, and over to you, General Evaluator.
So much, Toastmaster Riddhi, for that evaluation. Second up, we had Toastmaster Binaya, who was from Himalaya Toastmasters Club. And evaluating Toastmaster Binaya is Toastmaster Samir Dhungana, who is currently serving as the Deputy Country Head for River Edge Shipping. He is an Area O2 PR Manager. He is active and passionate member of Professional Toastmasters Club. Toastmaster Samir, you have the same time as Toastmaster Riddhi, 2 to 3 minutes to give your evaluation. The floor is all yours.
Thank you, Toastmaster General Evaluator Mirdal. Thank you, Toastmaster General Evaluator. Toastmaster Vinay is in level 2, project 1. His project is communication style. The purpose of his project is to learn different communication style and identify his primary style. Toastmaster Vinay, you should start a speech with a story rather than asking a question. Or asking a question, what type of communicator are you, would be more reliable. Your speech was well organized. Your body language, amazing. I see you moving from one place to another, asking people or communicating the person, your neighbor you were communicating was excellent. We are here for learning. Area of improvement must be there. If you start with a story and make an audience engagement, that will be more lively to your speech and the audience will communicated with you. You said you are a learning communicator style, but if you said I am at a direct communicator and now I am learning a supportive communicator style, that would be more reliable and more enjoyable for the audience to engage with your speech. Never end your speech with an open-minded, because you started with a question. At the end, you may have asked the audience, what type of communicator are you? So you again give a question, and then the audience again engage with you to give an answer. Don't try to engage the audience on the chat box on a virtual meeting. You try to engage with them personally, ask them to talk. You can take a name of a fellow Toastmaster, Manoj. What do you think you are? Which communicator style you are? That makes you engage. So you think you are on the same room communicating with each other. Thank you. That's all. Over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Samir. Now, before moving to the second session of general evaluation, I would like to confirm with the timer, are all the speakers, evaluators, eligible to be voted?
No, Toastmaster Riti was disqualified. She took 4 minutes and 7 seconds. So I think we don't need to launch any poll, Toastmaster Shamir.
So thank you, Toastmaster Riti. You made my job easier. The ballot counter, do not launch the poll for anyone. We have a definite winner. So let's get into the second session of general evaluation session. That is the indirect evaluation session. Now, this is where my team of indirect evaluators, the grammarian, the R counter, the timer, will give their report. So we have Toastmaster Sunil Acharya as the grammarian of today's meeting. Toastmaster Sunil, the floor is all yours to give your report. Toastmaster Sunil has 1 to 2 minutes to give his evaluation. Timer, please note that. Toastmaster Sunil, now you may give your report.
Thank you so much, General Evaluator. I'll be starting with the bad uses of English grammar and language. The first issue that I faced was in the use of the verb while giving the speech by the speakers. First bad use was communication is one of the basic thing, which should have been used as communication is one of the basic things. Each of the communication style should have been used as each of the communication styles. Sometimes. My construction looks somewhat like Pyramid of Egypt. The speaker was referring to the past, so it should have been my construction looked somewhat like Pyramid of Egypt. I have made the wall. Again, referring to the past, you should have used it as you have made the wall. Again, referring to the past, the speaker said, I grabbed a shovel and broke his wall, which should have been used as I grabbed a shovel and broke his wall. Coming to other bad uses of grammar, green in 1 minute, yellow in 1.5 minutes, and red in 2 minutes. A better use would have been at when referring to a point in time. Again, talking about few of other issues that I identified was about the table topics. Did you had any such unplanned trip? It should have been used that did you have any such unplanned trip? Tell your take on 2-day holiday in a week. Your take on 2 days holiday in a week would have been a better option. You have a lot of facts. Instead, you had a lot of facts. You have started your speech. Instead, you had started your speech. If I have been in your place should have been used as if I had been in your place. And this was my report. Over to you, General Evaluator. I didn't see anyone using word of the day during this meeting.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Sunil, for that crisp grammarian report. Serving as the R counter, we had Toastmaster Pravesh. Toastmaster Pravesh also has same time as the grammarian. He is a bachelor graduate and previously he worked as a medical representative for around 1 year. He was born and raised in Nevar Influence Society of Kathmandu, and he is currently involved in his own business. He believes nothing great comes early. So Toastmaster Pravesh, you may now
Oh,
give your account report.
well, thank you so much, General Evaluator. So I'll start with EMOE Rolex download. So he had few repetition and few hours. The first speaker, Sushi birthday was flawless. So let's give a round of applause, virtual applause for her. So second speaker, Toastmaster Binay Dongul was also flawless. So virtual applause for him as well. So the table topic master, Toastmaster Manoj Subedi, he had few short pauses, few awe and arms in his session. The first table topic speaker, guest Manaswi Dungana, she had few pauses and few ahs and ums. Second speaker, Toastmaster Pooja Bhatta, she was also flawless. Toastmaster Wasim was also flawless. And our last table topic speaker, Toastmaster Samir Tungana, he had few ahs and ums in his evaluation session and in his table topic session. And our evaluator, Toastmaster Uditi Subba, had few pauses in repetition and few awe and ums. So that's my report for today's session. Over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you so much, Ravish, for the wonderful accounting report. Before we get into the timers report, I'd like to give my general evaluation, and then we can move on to the timers report. Timer, please note, I will have same time as the direct evaluators, that is 2 to 3 minutes to give my general evaluation. You may start timing me now. So starting with the SA, Toastmaster Niranjan Shrestha, he welcomed everyone. And he also apologized for the delay that we had. So that was a very good thing to do. He also explained the learnings that we have in Toastmasters and the mission of this club. Thank you so much for that. Moving on to the presiding officer, what I loved was he started with why was this Leadbox Toastmaster established? Why people matriculate here in this club. So that was very well done, stating out the mission, the objectives of the institution that you're in. He also gave some words of encouragement to the audience that during this pandemic, if there's something constant that's going on, that's Toastmasters. And in Toastmasters, we get that hope to continue and be better. So that was also wonderfully done. Moving to the Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Rolex, I have so many good things about you because you were the batsman who was batting on a very difficult surface. You were hit by bouncer, you were hit by Yorkers because there were so many role changes. We didn't start on time, but you played your innings beautifully. And when a batsman plays his innings beautifully, we give them a round of applause. So you deserve a round of applause for your role as Toastmaster of the day. The good things that you had was you explained about the theme that is the bucket list, and you also explained how the meeting is run here in Toastmasters. It's divided into 3 parts, and you explained those parts wonderfully well. You also did the role in introduction, which should have been done by the general evaluator, but due to the changes, you took that responsibility and you did it so wonderfully. Only one suggestion for you, Toastmaster of the day, is when the speakers are giving their speeches, you can give out their objectives because people can know that in Toastmasters, the speakers have certain objectives that they have to fulfill in the speeches. So one thing for improvement, all in all, it was a great meeting. But for the meeting, I have some points where you can enhance yourself. The first one is with the role players. See, I cannot blame this to the Toastmaster of the evening because a club is a place where we have to mutually support a person. So I think the XCOM can work on this. there were so many role changes happening around. So the XCOM, they can fix the role players and then they can prepare them by giving them mentors. So second thing, we started very late. We started at 3:56, and that is, I think, around 9 minutes late from, no, that is around 11 minutes late because we start at 3:45. So I think we should start on time. When there are role players present, you can already start on time. So all in all, it was a great meeting. I loved coming to Leadbox Toastmasters. I was looking to come here. I got the opportunity to be the general evaluator. Thank you so much for having me as a general evaluator. Toastmaster Vikas as the timer. Now you may give your report. Over to you, Toastmaster Vikas. Now you may give your report.
Thank you, General Evaluator. Our meeting started 11 minutes later than our actual time. Our Sergeant at Arms Toastmaster Nirajan Shrestha took 3 minutes 20 seconds. Our presiding officer Toastmaster Sushil Buratuki spoke for 3 minutes 45 seconds. And our TMOE altogether spoke for 18 minutes. Now moving to the featured speakers speech session. Our first speaker, Toastmaster Srishti, spoke for 6 minutes 20 seconds, and our second speaker, Toastmaster Binay Dangoli, spoke for 7 minutes and 8 seconds. Now moving to the table topic session. This session was conducted for 16 minutes and 2 seconds. Now in this session, our first speaker, guest Manaswi, speak for 1 minute 10 seconds. The second speaker, Toastmaster Puja, spoke for 1 minute 5 seconds. Third speaker, Toastmaster Wasim, spoke for 2 minutes and 55 seconds. And our last speaker of this session spoke for Toastmaster Samir Dungan, spoke for 1 minute and 40 seconds. Now moving to the general evaluation session. This session was conducted for about 17 minutes and 55 seconds, where our general evaluator, Toastmaster Mirdul, spoke for 3 minutes 22 seconds. Our first evaluator, Toastmaster Riti, spoke for 4 minutes 7 seconds. Toastmaster Shamir spoke for 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Our counter took 1 minute 15 seconds, and our grammarian Toastmaster Sunil Acharya took 2 minutes 21 seconds. Now as a timer, I have spoke for about 2 minutes 2 seconds. Thank you. This is my report as a timer. Over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Ambikas, for your detailed timers report. Before handing the session over to the Toastmaster of the day, I would like to request the ballot officer, who is also Toastmaster Vikas, to launch the poll for a better role player.
Sorry, Toastmaster Wasim took this role.
Okay, sorry, Toastmaster Wasim. Now you may launch the poll for the better role player.
I've already launched the poll. I request everyone to vote for everyone except me. I don't know why am I there. Ballot counter also. This is weird.
I think the general evaluator should be there, but
yeah. Okay, vote for ballot counter, considering that one will be for general evaluator.
I think so. Leadbox don't want to give certificate to general evaluator.
Come on, guys, it's the areas for improvement that I was talking about.
I'll be closing the poll in 10 seconds now. All right.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Wasim, for launching the poll. This is all in the general evaluation session. I want to hand the stage back to the Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Rolex. The floor is all yours. Toastmaster Rolex, are you there? He's there.
Hey, sorry, I'm so sorry. My My microphone was muted actually. And thank you, General Evaluator, for a wonderful session. And also thank you everyone for attending this session. Hope you liked it. So now I would like to conclude this session. So may I request Presiding Officer to deliver the closing remarks?
Toastmaster Rolex, I think we need to call ballot counter Toastmaster Wasim for certificate
Okay, sorry, I'm sorry.
distribution.
So now I would like to call Toastmaster Washim to
Thank you.
you.
Sorry
Okay.
for interrupting. Thank you so much, Toastmasters of the evening. So as a ballot counter, I took the count of ballots from the audience for better table topic speaker, better featured speaker, and better evaluator, as well as better table topic speaker. Now I would like to request our tech masters to kindly help me show the certificates of the winner. So the better speaker for today is Toastmaster Srishti Baide. Toastmaster Sriti, please give your acceptance speech.
Thank you so much, Leadbox, for having me in your meeting. It was really great that I could talk to you about climate change. I also really enjoyed speaking with Toastmaster Dangle. He's a really good speaker too, and I got really good feedback from Toastmaster Riti, so I really appreciate him. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Sriti. Now moving forward, we have a better table topic speaker. I request Tech Master to show the certificate of better table topic speaker. And the better table topic speaker is me. Okay, so thank you everyone who have voted for me, and thank you once again, presiding officer, my mentor, my pathsor Toastmasters, Susil Budatoki sir, for that wonderful trip that I talked about. All right, thank you so much for voting for me. Next, moving forward, we have a predetermined speaker, the better evaluator for today's. He is Toastmaster Samir Dungana. Toastmaster Samir, could you please give your acceptance speech?
Thank you, Toastmaster Wasim. I would like to share this certificate with my colleague, Toastmaster Rita, who was evaluating Toastmaster Srishti. Thank you, Leadbox, for having me here. Thank you. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Samir. All right, moving forward, we have a better role taker for today, and the better role taker goes to our grammarian, Toastmaster Sunil Acharya sir. Sir, could you please give your acceptance speech? And that was indeed a good report, grammarian report.
Yeah. It was unexpected. Thank you so much for all the votes that you have given to me, all the voters. And it really is encouraging, as always. I'd like to thank again everyone who voted me. And I would also like to equally share this award with all the role takers today, especially Toastmaster Rolex, because I just loved the way he's conducted the meeting today. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Sunil. Now, congratulations to all the winners, including me. I would like to hand over this virtual stage once again to our Toastmasters of the day, Toastmaster Rolex.
Thank you, ballot counter Toastmaster Washim. So it was a wonderful experience, and I would like to congratulate to the winners, and thank you everyone for attending our sessions of Leadbox Toastmasters. So now I would like to conclude this session by requesting our presiding officer to deliver his closing remarks. So let's welcome our presiding officer, Toastmaster Sushil Acharya with Sushil Budatagi with yours. Round of virtual applause.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Rolex Tongol. You did a great job. And I'd like to express my sincere gratitude to all the role takers and the organizing committee, general evaluator, evaluators, and guest who made this meeting in terms of quality a great time for all of us. So I always say numbers matter, but not every time. The major important thing is the continuity. the show must go on. So that we did it with, though we are less in number, but the effort and the energy and the participation, every one of us in different roles have made it 100%. So I'd like to thank all the participants for making the 34th meeting of Leadbox Toastmaster Club a success again. And with the quote of Zig Ziglar, don't worry about failure. You only have to be right once. With that, I'd like to adjourn the meeting for today. Thank you, everyone.